بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Last week we talked about, or the week before we talked about the scale. We talked about the hadith al-bidaqa, or the card of leaf, said, or literally translated. Um, Talked about how this one man will come with scrolls and scrolls of sins, but bitaqa, or a card that says La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, will be brought, it will be placed on one side of the scale, and that side will be heavier. And we talked about how that the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu will be at the whole help, and how everyone will be in their groups. Everyone will be in their groups. We talked about how the group that will remain will be the monotheistic group, the people of oneness, right? That believe in the oneness of Allah. And then it will be and then we talked about the ayah يوم يكشف عن ساق ويدعون إلى السجود فلا يستطيعون. That it will be called to them to prostrate, or they will see Allah and they will want to prostrate, and the people who of true monotheism, true faith, will be able to prostrate, while others will be straight and they will not be able to prostrate. We talked about the separation of hypocrites from the believers, right? In the time of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu who did he inform? Who did the Prophet Muhammad inform of the hypocrites? Who was his name? Does anyone know? Who was the companion that the Prophet Muhammad had told the list, or given the list of hypocrites? Hudayfa, yes. Hudayfa ibn Yaman, yes. He was told the names of the hypocrites. And Umar ibn Khattab, he had feared himself, so he would watch Hudayfa ibn Yaman to see if, after the Prophet Muhammad died, who Hudayfa ibn Yaman would pray the funeral prayer on. And to the point that he himself feared hypocrisy, that he even asked Hudayfa if he was amongst the list. So what about us, right? What if Umar ibn Khattab is fearing that he is from the hypocrites, then what about us, right? We ask Allah to protect us from this, right? This was Umar ibn Khattab, the one who, if he was walking down one path and Shaitan was walking and came down the same path, Shaitan would go another path. SubhanAllah. So at this point, right now, وَجِيءَ يَوْمِئِذٍ بِجَهَنَّمَ, the hellfire is brought, right? And in this tafsir, Allah ibn Mas'ud ومقاتل في هذه الآية جيء بها تقاد ب70 ألف زمام مع كل زمام 70 ألف ملك يقودونها. That the hellfire will be brought with 70,000 reins attached to it, and each rein is being brought by 70,000 angels. Imagine 70,000 reins. Zimam is a rein or a rope, and it's 70,000 ropes or 70,000 reins. These chains will be brought, each chain held with 70,000 angels. So, yes, so it would be brought, this hellfire would be brought. And it's as if, right, the Quran is describing the hellfire as if it has life, like it is alive itself. Allah tells us, إذا رأتهم من مكان بعيد سمعوا لها تغيظا وزفيرا. That one, when it, the hellfire, sees them from a distant place, they will hear its fury and roaring. So when the hellfire sees its assignment, when it sees the people that it is meant for, that it was created for, it will roar out in rage. It will roar in anger. And these angels are bringing it, dragging the Jahannam. And in another verse, Allah asks the hellfire, "Are you full?" And the hellfire responds, "Hal min mazid?" Is there more? Right? So the Quran is describing it to us as if it's something alive. It's something that has an assignment. And the human beings amongst the jinn are the assignment. Right? We are, may Allah protect us from the hellfire, but the humankind is what it was created for. This is the fuel of the fire. So where are the believers, right? Where are now the believers being taken, right? Where are the believers being taken? Now it is the time to cross the sirat. What is the sirat? Not here. Oh, no, I said where? No, I said where? Oh, it is, yes, it is a bridge over hellfire that is described thinner, as thin as a hair and as sharp as a sword or as sharp as a knife. And Allah tells us, وَإِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا كَانَ عَلَى رَبِّكَ حَتْمًا مَقْضِيًّا, that there is none of you who will not pass over it. This is the decree your Lord must fulfill. So this Jahannam, over it is a bridge, right? And this bridge is described to us in the hadith, right? A very, very long hadith, صحيح حديث. وفي حفتي الصراط كذلك معلقة مأمورة بأخذ من أمرت به. That on both sides of the bridge, prolonged flesh hooks placed under command will be hung and will seize those about whom they receive command. Some people being lacerated and escaping, and others being thrown violently into hell. Right? And then the hadith continues, إِنَّ قَعْرَ جَهَنَّمَ لَسَبْعُونَ خَرِيفًا. That the fall of the from the sirat to the Jahannam is 70 years. So imagine like the so high above the Jahannam, but you can still see it, and the distance is not measured by miles or kilometers, it's measured by time. 70 years of falling from the sirat to Jahannam if you are swept by the hooks or the hooks touch you or you fall over, right? So this is how the sirat is described to us. And all around is dark. You can't see anything. And all you're given is everyone is given that their light based off of the actions that they did. يوم ترى المؤمنين والمؤمنات يسعى نورهم بين أيديهم وبأيمانهم. On that day, you will see believing men and women with their light shining ahead of them and on their right. Right? And then this is where the munafiqun, they say, يوم يقول المنافقون والمنافقات للذين آمنوا انظرونا نقتبس من نوركم. That on that day, the hypocrite men and women will beg the believers, wait for us so that we may have some of your light. Wait for us so that we may have some of your light. قِيلَ ارْجِعُوا وَرَاءَكُمْ فَالْتَمِسُوا نُورًا. It will be said to them, go back to the world and seek a light there. And at this point, then a separating wall or separating gate will come in between the believers and the hypocrites. On the near side will be grace, and on the far side will be torment. Right? And this is where the next ayah right after the Surah Al-Hadid, by the way, يُنَادُونَهُمْ أَلَمْ نَكُمْ مَعَكُمْ. Right? So they still hear, right? The believers still hear the hypocrites on the other side of this wall. Right? This is we're talking about like right before the Sirat. That they still hear the believers still hear the hypocrites on the other side of this wall. They will call out to them, يُنَادُونَهُمْ أَلَمْ نَكُمْ مَعَكُمْ. Are we not with you? قَالُوا بَلَى. They will say yes. ولكنكم فتنتم أنفسكم وتربصتم وارتبتم وغرتكم الأماني حتى جاء أمر الله وغركم بالله الغرور. They will say yes, but you afflicted yourselves and awaited misfortune for us and doubted, and wishful thinking deluded you until there came the command of Allah and the deceiver deceived you concerning Allah. Right, so this is where we're seeing the filtering process, right? People who didn't believe in Allah completely versus people who believed in Allah versus people who were hypocrites amongst the believers. This filtering process needs to be happened until you are left with just the people who truly believe. Right? So we talked about the believers. We talked about the disbelievers. When we talked about the hypocrites, who's left? Ashab al-Araf. And those are the people who are Ashab al-Araf. Yeah, very good. Their good deeds and their bad deeds are equal, exactly equal. So Ibn Mas'ud, he says, وَمَنْ اسْتَوَتْ حَسَنَاتُهُ وَسَيِّئَاتُهُ those whose good deeds and bad deeds are equal. كان من أصحاب الأعراف. They are from the people of A'raf. فوقفوا على الصراط, and they stand on the sirat, or this area. ثم عرفوا أهل الجنة وأهل النار. They recognize on one side the people of paradise, and they recognize on the other side the people of hell. فإذا نظروا إلى أهل الجنة, when they look to the people of paradise and they see them, نادوا سلام عليكم. They say salams, right? They're calling out. لم يدخلوها, and Allah adds, لم يدخلوها وهم يطمعون. This is very, and this is what I kind of want to end with here. That they say salam, right? They're giving the peace, and Allah is saying that they have not yet entered it, but they eagerly hope to, right? That they eagerly hope to. So they have not yet entered the paradise, and some of the scholars said that their punishment or their adab in it is just waiting. That they're just waiting for either to be from the people of paradise or to be from the people of hell, right? So they see the people, they look on the people of the right, they see the people of paradise, and they say salam, and they want to go there. They hope in Allah's mercy, right? They hope in Allah's mercy. وإذا صرفوا أبصارهم إلى يسارهم, when they look to the left, نظروا أصحاب النار, they see the people of hellfire. قالوا ربنا لا تجعلنا مع القوم الظالمين. ربنا لا تجعلنا مع القوم الظالمين. Oh Lord, our Lord, do not make us from those who have wronged themselves. So this is where now Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, الذين أقسمتم لا ينالهم الله برحمة ادخلوا الجنة لا خوف عليكم ولا أنتم تحزنون. Finally, those on the heights will be told, enter paradise. There will be no fear for you, nor will you grieve. Right, so this is, as I said, part of the hope that they had in Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah did not they had an expectation of Allah. They had a hope in Allah, and Allah did not come short with them. They had a hope in Allah, and this is how the believer should be, right? You have two wings, one with mercy, with one with hope, and the other with fear and the adab. Hope in Allah's mercy and fear in the adab, and this is how we should always be. If you're too much of one side, you're not gonna get anywhere. If you're too hopeful in Allah, you've destroyed yourself. And if you're too fearful in Allah, you've also destroyed yourself. There's a balance, and you need to find that perfect medium for each, and that varies for different people. Some people, they do more good deeds knowing and hoping in the mercy of Allah. Some people stay away from bad deeds fearing more in the adab. So it depends on the person. Do you fear the adab more than you hope for the reward? Or do you hope for the reward more than you fear the adab? And you have to find that medium where you balance in your actions and with your choice. It's a balance, and you have to find that balance. So inshallah, next week we'll talk about how, inshallah, before the people, they finally cross the bridge and they're about to enter Jannah, but then some of them will go back to intercede for those that they want to enter Jannah with. Inshallah, we'll talk about that next week. I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to make us belong to paradise, and those who cross the sirat like lightning. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا ولم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الظالمين. اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. السلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.